to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. I had to push everything aside to talk about this today. So this morning around 7 a.m. Time magazine decided to post a picture, their new cover of Time magazine, which is a black woman. It's the side profile of a black woman with natural hair, dark skin, of course, and on the cover it like have pictures in her hair and kind of like a natural hairstyle. So you know, now all of a sudden they know what a dark-skinned black woman, what an actual black woman looks like. In her hair, it has, if you zoom in, you can see it has like a picture of, I guess, people protesting, and the sign says, "I am a man." I mean, how much more evidence do we need? How many more times are we gonna see the image of black women being masculinized before we address it, and before all black women, whether you choose to be divested or not? How many more times are we gonna allow the media to continue to portray us as masculine and manly? I mean, how belligerent is that? Covers of magazines, especially a magazine as old and as powerful as the Time magazine, these images are scrutinized. So whatever artist, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't a black woman, whatever artist that decided this was okay, you know, whether it was done intentionally or subconsciously, I'm not going to give anybody the benefit of the doubt enough to say it's not intentional. I believe that it's intentional because we've seen time and time again how people like to contribute dark skin and unambiguous black women with masculinity. Because the bottom line is, when it's time to perform black womanhood on TV, 9 times out of 10 they find the lightest thing, the most mixed thing, the most diluted black woman that they can find to portray us. But when it's time to portray a manly aesthetic, push a manly narrative, all of a sudden everybody knows what an unambiguous black woman looks like. And I'm here to let everybody know, black women, we are done. We are done being mules. You know, of course there's still gonna be black women that want to be mules, but my side of history, okay? Black women, we are done. We tired of muling. We tired of fighting. We're tired of being the face of fighting. Because I'm gonna tell you like this, I didn't write any notes for this video because I figured once I get started, the words will just keep coming. But the thing is, what people like to do is portray black women as manly and then act like they don't know what they just did. And then of course, every single comment under Time magazine is black women saying, no, we're not okay with this. Not one black woman is giving a hand clap. You'll find a black man or two, some white people, a couple of those trying to say, oh, this is just so epic. It's up to each and every one of us as black women to gatekeep the way people portray us. Because at some point, we do play a part in our own demise. And listen, to put this frankly, okay, this is dangerous. This is point blank dangerous. It's no other way to put it. This is putting a target on black women's back. White liberal media is trying so hard to remove the target from black males that they're now putting a target on black women's. And in case, you know, somebody may come across my video who's not hip to this conversation, the bottom line is, when black women continue to be portrayed in the media as masculine, as manly, I mean, this is so belligerent. They literally had a sign that says, "I am a man," and a black woman's afro. Like, can it get any more in your face than what it is now? I mean, how many more times and how many different ways and more belligerent and in your face can it get before Black women wake up and realize that these things aren't accidental, that this pattern of things puts our lives in danger? Because when white people, when police officers start to see Black men online crying and Black men sobbing about just how tired they are of being Black men instead of doing what men should do and build their own infrastructure and fight back, because you are the exact ones who have the physical strength to fight back instead of sitting down and letting women do it. Like, Black women need to really realize and understand that this is not acceptable. And as many people who are willing to come out and talk about this need to talk about it. As many Black women as need to get on Twitter and drag Time Magazine for this until they take those images down and they pull that cover from the shelf, because it directly affects the way the world sees us. And you can sit and say, oh, well, what people think of us don't matter. I'm not manly, so it shouldn't. No, baby. When things are this belligerent in your face, you don't have the luxury to be quiet. Black women in a world in 2020 where Black women are countering our efforts to become feminine and our efforts, other Black women are countering this by getting on CNN and getting on social media and everywhere else and trying to say we need to abolish and defund the police. What is gonna happen? I really need Black women to think, okay? To think. Because at the end of the day, this is our image that is being drugged through the mud, not anybody else's. And regardless of the fact that we can't control what other people do, we can control how we respond to this. And this is drag worthy, because at the end of the day, you as an individual, you may think you're separate from it even if you don't protest, but you're not. You're not, because when police start being defunded, they stop answering phone calls in certain zip codes and certain area codes. If you haven't been able to pull yourself up out of Black neighborhoods, whether it's a hood neighborhood or not, you don't think that this affects. Police are human beings, okay? So they're affected in the same way you are. No, it's not like they had to get doctorates to become police officers and they have this wide range of understanding of human psychology and racism and systemic oppression. They don't. So they're gonna be affected with even the minuscule educated amongst us. So my thing is, police officers are regular white men, majority of them. Police officers are regular people, Asians, Hispanics, whatever. People that don't have a connection to Black women. This is what they see. It's dangerous, period. It's dangerous. And it really doesn't matter what you think. It matters what is. And at the end of the day, this is not a good look for us, because this is what gives men the license to feel like we can take a punch, to treat us like men, to think that they can stand up and box us like we're a man. And this is why. So when divested Black women, when feminine Black women, when Black women on this side of protesting, the opposite side of the front lines, are telling you mammies that you need to maybe take a seat and be quiet, especially those of you who are on the poorer end of the spectrum and those of you who haven't managed to pull yourself out of the hood, you are in danger. And to some degree, listen, I live in a white zip code in my city, okay? I barely even see police. Police don't even police my area where I live. And I don't mean that as in, you know, it's just a free-for-all. No, I mean it as in, listen, I'm not gonna lie, the treatment is very different. My ex used to live on the black side of town, and when I say it was night and day, I could ride by a cop speeding and they wouldn't even pull us over in my side of town. I go to my ex's side of town where the black zip code, I mean, it's cops on every corner. I didn't even know North Carolina had undercover police cars because I never see them in my neighborhood. I never see them in the side of town I live on. Okay? The police, I have encountered police, like, I came out of my building one morning and the police were like literally at the end of the steps, and they were super friendly and super nice, as was I. So it's a different treatment, and even with all of that, I'm still a black woman. And God forbid you're not super petite or, you know, super, you chose not to be super feminine in a long pink skirt, and that might not even save you, but my God, it could probably help. But say you ran down the street in some leggings and some sneakers, and they can't tell the difference between where you live, and if you live on the white side of town or if you live on the black side of town, if you live in the hood or if you don't. And you know, the black side of town don't always equal, you know, the hood, but at the same time, it's like this in every city. And in my city, there are certain zip codes that are predominantly black, whether they're poor zip codes or not, they are predominantly black. And if you think the police won't be slow to answer calls in certain neighborhoods, you're mistaken. I heard today that the LAPD started defunding the police department in Los Angeles. LA crime is up 250%. I really need black women to understand that it ain't safe out here. You know, especially if you're not blessed enough to be able to be in a better zip code and live around wealth. I'm not exempt from it, okay? But at the same time, there's a lot more black women who don't have the luxuries that I have. And they're in a terrible predicament. And I'm gonna tell you like this, no matter where you are in your life, maybe you are still in the hood, these black women, these super educated black women on CNN that's saying, oh, you need to that America, think about living in America where the police are abolished and we're no longer policed heavily and there's defunding of the police department and all of this. Okay? These educated women probably live in wealthy neighborhoods too. Okay, these educated women that's wealthy and have money, most of these women aren't slumming it in the hood. They are living under some veil, even if it's a thin veil. They are living under some thin veil of protection in their wealthier zip codes, and they're gonna mess around and have young black women and children, and black women and children that live in more hood areas. They're having your lives in danger, so busy trying to be in the spotlight, trying to get the country to abolish police. No, I don't want to live anywhere there's not police. And I said this on Twitter and I will say it again. I would rather get pulled over by the police because I'm driving while black. I would rather be racially discriminated against in a situation with a cop than to be stuck in the hood in an unpoliced animal house where it's a free-for-all for criminals to break in, rob, steal, kill, and destroy everything they can get their grubby little broke fingers on. I would rather be racially profiled because at least I would still have my life. Because a world where black women don't have the police to call on is a world I do not want to live in, okay? So I'm going where the police are. I already am, okay? But if you haven't, you might want to go ahead and figure out how you can get yourself up out of the situation that you're in. Because at the end of the day, get strapped, do something. I myself, I'm gonna do the same thing. As scary as guns are, I'm taking my black woman behind to the gun range and getting licensed and getting a weapon, because we probably gonna need it. And my thing is, you definitely need protection if you live in a more predominantly black area, because when the police stop responding to y'all phone calls and stop, you know, policing your area because of where the call is, trust me, you're gonna wish you had some protection. So that is all that I have. I really want black women to think about this. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Join in the conversation. Let me know what you think. I'm not even gonna ask if you think it's a reach or not, because it's not a reach. Let me know what you think in the comments about this Time magazine cover. I really think that it's time black women wake up. Like, I mean, how much more belligerent can the media get before black women see that this ain't cute, okay? But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell too if you want to know every time I upload a video, and I will see you guys in the next one.